Hey everyone, you're going to be hearing my dog snoring in the background. That's what that noise is. It's 4th of July, so we gave her anti-anxiety medication and makes her a little sleepy. But it's better than the alternative. Anyway, I wanted to do just a quick upload. I plan on live streaming in a little bit, but I'm hoping to get this video out first. And I just wanted to discuss this just briefly. I don't want to have this long, drawn-out discussion over this, so I'm not going to bring it up in the live stream. But I am going to put my thoughts out there now on video. Now, see, the thing is that when it comes to my channel, and I know that this, I don't want this to come out the wrong way, because when I sit there, when I sit here and say like people suck or I call out shitty behavior, I'm not immune to this. I'm not immune to being a shitty person at times or having bad behavior or worthy of being called out. Definitely, I'm not immune to this shit. However, it seems like I've been, I don't know, I feel like I've not been very fair with my calling out of others. So, and again, I'm not going to call out people that people want me to call out. I'm going to call out people that, for whatever reason, get my attention on that day. So, yeah. And I understand if people may not like this or may find this frustrating. That's great. I get it. You're more than welcome to make your own channel and call out whoever the hell you want. You know, we all are. And that's all I'm doing. So, moving on. Someone sent me this clip, and I had hemmed and hawed about even discussing it or calling attention to it or whatever. I wasn't sure if I should, because it seems like whenever I talk about this creator, boy, do people get fucking upset with me. I mean, between like people who never even tweet at me or talk to me in Twitter will suddenly just start coming at me with all kinds of shit because I asked a question like, is it just me or does it seem odd? Like, that was my question. That was the extent of my question was, does this seem odd to anyone else? Boy, though, holy shit. You would have thought that I shot their dog and pissed in their fucking waffles or something. That's what you would have thought. Anyway, in case you haven't guessed it by now, someone sent me a clip of Charlotte on the Web's live stream. Now, this, though I find this clip to be damning in and of itself, and not damning, I guess that's kind of a harsh word, just problematic. It becomes even more problematic when I show you the second clip. Just want to put that out there. Anyway, the first clip I'm going to be showing you is from a live stream she did, I think, just this past week. I'm not positive on the day. I think it was just the other day, 2 or 3 days ago. Now, for little context here, days before this, she had done, like 2 days before this, I believe, she had done a live stream where she was talking about Katie wanting to silence her. So then she reads one of Katie's old blog posts where Katie wrote all about her son. And the next thing you know, everyone's just reiterating and talking about her son between the chat and, and Charlotte herself. And don't get me wrong, I don't blame Charlotte for her chat. No creator's really responsible for the chat. Everyone is their own person. We're all going to say and do whatever the hell we want, regardless. Okay. That's the fact. So I just want to throw that out there. I don't blame her for her chat. Okay. I'm just saying what it is I saw. That's all. Now, so as a result of reading this old blog post, yeah, so everyone's talking about her kid and everything. And Charlotte, in the stream that I'm going to be showing you now, Charlotte was trying to explain to her audience there that she wasn't coming at Katie's son. She wasn't attacking Katie's son. So, people want to say, it's bullshit. So yeah, that's what this is about. Now, I want to say that I'm probably in a minority here when it comes to talking about her son, or more or less talking about the things that Katie has said about her son. That's, I think, where I land mostly. I say it's all fair game. Katie's the one who fucking put it out there. So long as you're not dragging the kid, you're not disparaging the kid or whatever, calling him an R or any shit like that. Like I was kind of seeing in some of Charlotte's chat there. Well, they weren't directly calling him an R, but the word was tossed around freely. So long as that shit's not happening, I say it's fair game. Because let's face it, Katie has told a lot of inconsistencies, and she uses her kid all the time whenever she needs sympathy or she needs attention or she needs a distraction more than anything, or if she's just sad fishing. So given the fact that she does this and she does this often, well, yeah, I'm in the camp where it's all fair game. Sorry. So I'm not even really I'm not giving Charlotte any shit for having read this blog post or speak on it. I get it. Okay, cool. I mean, I do think that she did this as not so much as a place of calling out Katie, but as a place of, or from a place of like, oh, I'll show you, kind. That's not that's not the best reason. It's not really that good of a reason to talk about this shit, because then you're kind of involving him. You're kind of throwing him in the middle of shit, and indirectly, but you are. So I mean, but whatever. Again, though, this wouldn't even be an issue if Katie hadn't put all the shit out there to begin with, and Katie herself didn't use the kid. So I'm not taking a side here. I'm not. But I am taking a side though with this one part of this dream, because this does not sit well with me. I have to mute first.
I need to clear up is, okay, when I brought up the article that Katie had wrote about her child, I do not like to mention people that aren't creators, because I don't want them to feel like I'm going after them, but I do feel like I need to address this certain person, and her name is Diash. Diash, I'm sorry that you thought I was going after Vaughn. Clearly you don't like me, and that's fine. People don't have to like me. But please stop spreading the rumor that I was going after Vaughn. I read that article.
Okay, I'm just going to commentate on this part a little bit. First of all, obviously, I don't agree with calling out a viewer like this, because this, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you have any sort of platform, whether it's 50 subscribers or 50,000, okay, you're essentially getting those people watching you to kind of side with you, to join you. And they will then talk shit about the person you just called out at the very least. At the most, they would then go out and approach them either virtually, or hopefully it just stays virtual, but who knows? So, but when you do this, you have any size platform, you have to assume the worst. You have to assume that every one of your subs is going to be one of those people. So say you have a channel her size, I think she said she reached 10K now. So let's say, yes, she said this to potentially 10,000 people. And then there's Diash, who's one person. Okay, I'll be honest with you, I'm not positive if Diash is he or she. I'm not sure of their pronouns, so I should be saying they, but you might hear me slip up and say she, because I'm just assuming it's a she, but whatever. She's a she. I don't know though. My bad. Anyway, they are just one person against a mob, and then a mob who's focused on them for no fucking good reason. Okay, no reason. There was no justification for having done that. And and let me just say, it's not a rumor. They shared their opinion on something. It's not a rumor. Like, we all have opinions. Saying that, again, you are potentially sending a mob of 10,000 people at this one person because you didn't like their opinion on something. Like that's just irresponsible, in my opinion. But yeah, from what I understand, Diash doesn't agree with the stream, and that's fine. They have every right to not agree. That's their opinion. That's their right. It just grow some thicker skin or something, man. I mean, really, it took that little amount for you to have to put this one person with no platform, no nothing to support them or back them up, this one person on blast to 10,000 people. That's just fucking mean. Like, that's really mean. Moving on.
To prove a point that it's not what myself or anyone else says about Katie's son that is going to affect Katie's son. It's what Katie has said about her own child. That's why I read that article. So it's just.
I might be getting a little petty here, but that just doesn't make sense to me. You want to prove that it's not about you talking about Katie's son that's going to affect Katie's son. So you prove this by talking about Katie's son. Like, you do see, I'm not following that logic here. I'm just not. Yeah.
It's nuts. But she hasn't gone after just you. She's gone after Sassy, Allie, and the list could go on. Yes, SD, at different times she has went after everybody. But here lately, for whatever reason, she's targeted me. I don't understand it. But I mean, my subscribers know that first of all, I would never make it a mission to target any child, much less her child. Kids are off limits. What is her deal? I know, Nana. I don't.
And I just want to say, I wholeheartedly believe that. I honestly do not think Charlotte would ever target or go after anyone's child, or any child for that matter. And I have no doubt that there was no ill intention or whatever to kind of thrust him into the middle of this shit either by reading that blog post. I have no doubt that there was no ill intent here. However, it doesn't change the fact that that's kind of what happened, in my opinion. But again, I'm not commenting on that. That's not my issue here. All right, so now I'm going to play this next clip. Now, this is amazing. This is really fucking amazing. Okay, so this dream. Okay, yeah, I did not mute myself. So, what is it? This dream. Sorry, the sun goes down. My lighting gets all fucked up. Anyway, this dream was from about a year ago, just over a year, or maybe just under a year ago. I want to say like last August. I'm not positive on that, but I believe it was right around there. So here, here's a live stream from Charlotte with JJ on, and just listen to this for a second.
I hate that. I hate that people feel that they need to choose a side. But this person, I'm going to go ahead and say her name because I'm not attacking her. I'm just telling what happened. D. Ash. And in all honesty, I hadn't had any communication with D. Ash. Looks like we lost JJ for a minute. But I hadn't had any communication from D. Ash in months since I'd been on Twitter with my main account. And then all of a sudden, I'm hearing that.
Okay, for those who might not have caught it the first time in the first clip I showed, or maybe you didn't catch it this time, or maybe you're just not hearing it, whatever. She's calling out the same fucking viewer, the same person she's calling out in both streams. She called this person out just about a year ago, and now she's doing it again. And for why? For not agreeing with them. And let me say too, in the previous clip, where she had said, "It's clear you don't like me." Well, really? Why is that clear? Because it was constructive criticism. That's all that it was. And giving their opinion. And you equate that to, well, they're only saying that shit because they don't like me. So you're completely, totally invalidating their opinion, or you're discrediting their having an opinion by saying it's coming from this ill-intended place, this nefarious place, because they don't like you. That's their real true agenda here. It's not the criticism. Like, really? I mean, that's some. I hate to say it. I fucking hate to say it because, let's be honest. I think a lot of us do some things that are kind of similar to the shit that who does. But yeah, that's some kind of like Katie type shit, It's like when she says, "Oh, well, that criticism is bullshit because I know where you got that information from. That's from the trolls. You were talking to the trolls, so you don't matter." That's what that's saying. Okay? I mean, and for granted, you don't have to like the criticism. You don't, whatever. I get that. But just like when Charlie Gold told Katie that the more Katie tried to deny being something, the more Charlie was going to believe that she was that something. So I want to point out that to get so upset that you have to call this person out twice over the period of a year for shit that they said, to get that upset to have to bring it into your stream and talk about it, kind of like doubt the lady protests too much. That's how it looks. I'm not saying that's how it is. That's just how it looks. That I don't know how else to say it. Anyway, let's go back to this stream.
She's coming at me in Little Red's chat, telling me to call Unirock off, to, get Unirock to leave her alone. And then I found out, I'd found out like earlier that day that she'd been bashing me on Twitter, and I couldn't figure out why. And then I was told and showed actually where she had did a whole Twitter thread, kind of, I guess you could say, bashing Unirock. And then Unirock saw the thread and responded to it.
Dude, I just want to say, if I went on stream and talked about every fucking person who ever bashed me on Twitter, can you imagine that? Like, I probably have like the most logged hours on YouTube or some shit. Well, all right, I'm exaggerating there, obviously, but it'd be a shit ton of fucking content up. That's for damn sure. I mean, I get it. Just, I don't agree with the calling the person out, because I guarantee you, she caught some shit from this, especially from a year ago, because there was, I mean, I feel like Charlotte's channel with who subscribes to her, who's like really strongly supporting her, I don't feel like it's anywhere near as bad as it used to be. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure mine's bad too at times. I'm not saying anyone's immune to this, but her channel was kind of known for, as quote unquote, the bulldogs, or however you want to put it, but bulldogs was the term used most. Her channel was kind of known for that. I mean, knowing this at that time, she knew this, because she's had to defend this time and again. In fact, right before this part in this stream, she was defending it again. So she knows that this is, at the very least, this is the experience that other people perceive to have. Okay, this is other people's perception, their experience, what they believe happened. Okay, whatever, at the very least. So knowing that, why would you then call someone out on your channel? For granted, still, you're not responsible for the people in your chat, what they do or what they say. Absolutely, you're not responsible. But that doesn't mean that you don't, that doesn't mean that you're so negligent or inconsiderate about it that you exploit it either. And I'm not saying this what she's doing, but if you know that this is the case and you do the shit you're doing anyway, it does kind of look like you might be exploiting it. Like, it's not the bug, it's the feature. Okay, that's kind of what it looks like. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to this, I think, just for another couple seconds. I got bit by mosquitoes earlier. Annoying.
It had nothing to do with me, but all of a sudden it was my fault that he was responding to her. And I tried to explain to her in Little Red's chat that I've never even talked personally with Unirock. I don't condone everything he says and does. It's Unirock, for crying out loud. I think by now we all know that you can't tell Unirock what to say or what to do. He wasn't doing it on my behalf, but yet I got blamed for it again. Stina says your mods do a lot behind your back and your name. Stina, can you show me some proof of that? Because I got a lot. And I'm telling you right now, if I see some proof where they're doing it in my name, then I'll.
Okay, yeah, that's the last part I want to touch on. The whole, I'd like to see proof they're doing it in my name. Okay, if they're arguing on your behalf, then they're doing it in your name. It's that fucking simple. Just because they're not saying, in Charlotte's name, I shall defend. Just because they don't say that doesn't mean it's not in your name. They're there fighting a stranger online about you. It's in your fucking name. Now, I just want to point out, though, that still, even if it's in your name, it's still not Charlotte's responsibility. That's my opinion. It's not Charlotte's responsibility. She has no control over someone else any more than they have control over her. And that's the way that it should be. Okay, we all have free will. So I don't agree with holding anyone else responsible. Somebody says, I mean, I think I've learned my lesson on this. I mean, or rather, I think I can say I have some experience on this matter, I should say, because thankfully I'm no longer being blamed for the shit Ren says or does or whatever, but God knows I was for the longest time, which was bullshit, which was complete bullshit. And I just want to point out here that much of that blame and that vitriol and that fucking hate was birthed out of this live chat of hers. Okay. I'm going to say that. Again, not Charlotte's fault or her responsibility. I'm putting the blame and the responsibility on the people who did the shit. Okay. But this is where the shit came from. Anyway. And I don't want to see somebody else catch that shit. I don't want to see Diash catch that shit just for simply sharing her opinion. And then to be called out because, you know what? This is a viewer. There are a lot of viewers on YouTube. If you're going to start calling people out, I mean, that's just pretty fucked up. People are, hopefully they catch on though, because I mean, when the mob comes for them, they're going to want support. So hopefully people kind of see this happening and they try to just stop it before it happens to anyone, let alone before it comes back around to them. Because if there's one thing I've learned, and this definitely applies to YouTube. Oh, it absolutely applies to YouTube. But for me, I've realized it applies to all of social media. If you have any kind of presence on social media or in a community on social media, do not ever sit here and ask, what would I do if they came for me? No. Ask yourself, what will I do when they come for me? Because they will come, and they will come again and again and again, because that's just how it works online. That's kind of how it works in real life, just maybe not quite at the same fast pace that it does online. But online is just like an expressing version of the life. So an express lane version where you can get like all the items in the world you want in real life. That's what it's like. So yeah, don't ask yourself if, ask yourself when, because it will happen. And keep this in mind, hopefully. I hope people will keep this in mind, because the next time you are a part of this, any kind of mob or any kind of gang or any kind of target of the week approach, just keep in mind that the person it is that you all are talking mad shit about is going to be you. Maybe not next, but definitely sometime soon. So yeah, I think that's it. Again, Charlotte has every right to do whatever she wants with her channel. And congratulations, by the way, for hitting 10K. No matter, I don't care how you did it. And I want to point out too that my question on Twitter about, does this seem odd to anyone else? I'm not even saying that she did anything wrong. Okay, I'm saying that when it comes to me personally, and when it comes to anyone I watch, I want to know, or I want to at least be under the impression, the illusion, even if it's an illusion, just under the illusion anyway, that the person I'm watching is a straight shooter. Okay, they don't have to be, but this is just my own personal choice, and nobody else has to have the same personal choice as me, obviously. But when it comes to me, this is what I value. So if there was some sort of arrangement made, I consider that to be actions not necessarily of a straight shooter, and that would be something I would care about. That's why I asked the question. When it comes to the overall, the grand scheme of things, or when it comes to just any amount of viewers, any other viewer on YouTube, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So long as she's happy with it, that's all that matters. But when it comes to me and who I choose to watch, these are things I'm going to talk about. That's all. Nobody has to agree with me. Nobody has to. No, people can agree with me that it's odd without agreeing with me that it matters. It does. That's my point. I was asking for me though. So anyway, as I was saying, congratulations on hitting 10K for whatever reason that happened. I don't care. Congratulations. And I want to say that I do realize someone sent me this clip, and I do realize that there are sometimes people are in our DMs trying to stir the shit and cause problems. Sure, it happens to every creator, probably every viewer too. So I'm not going to feed into it just because it's there. I'm not going to discuss it every time either. And most of the times I kind of ignore shit. But when I see something that does kind of strike a nerve with me, or that does catch my attention, or does bother me, then yeah, I'm going to talk about it. I don't care how it ended up at my attention. If it has my attention, I'm probably gonna talk about it. So I want to throw that out there. Anyway, I'm going to be starting a live stream soon, although I don't know. You guys, my live stream may even be over by the time I upload this, so that's whatever. fuck it, I'm just wasting time now talking about nonsense. Anyways, everyone had a great 4th of July and a safe 4th of July. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.